at the State Department of Labor and Social Protection, Dr. Khadija Kasachun, has said that the occupational and safety policy is under review. This is what she had to say, saying that it is consistent with the new labor laws and changing work environments. The PS say the government is to complete a data and research center at a cost of 480 million shillings. Kasachun said that the center will enable scientists, researchers, students to collect data and statistics on occupational health-related incidents. She spoke on the sidelines of the 2018 Occupational and Health Conference at the Technology and Development Center in Athi River, Machakos County. Acting Director at the Directorate of Safety Health, Samuel Thuita, said that the three-day conference outcomes will be published in a journal to promote safety studies in the country among stakeholders. There will be awards for best organizations on Saturday on occupational and safety awareness. Compliance in line with the Big Four government agenda, PS Kasachun said is making bold steps towards compelling organizations to buy insurance for their employees in and out of work.
As a department to look at this issue and ensure that people are aware of their occupational health and safety environment, their roles in this, and that they are able to do something to keep safe, because more than 50% of accidents and incidences are caused by carelessness or lack of knowledge by the people there. But once they know that, then we can reduce this and ensure that work continues.
All right, and just to put in context why this day that is tomorrow, marking the how safe and occupationally health and safety of workplaces is important, we're just going to take a look at some statistics that put the importance of this day into perspective. And every day, 6,300 people die as a result of occupational accidents or work-related diseases. More than 2.3 million deaths per year. And 317 million accidents occur on the job annually, many of these resulting in extended absences from work. The human cost of this daily adversity is vast, and the economic burden of poor occupational safety and health practices is estimated at 4% of global gross domestic product each year. Right, and to have this discussion with me in studio, the main act is the Occupational Safety and Health Act 2007. There are various regulations that have been enacted pursuant to the Act and include Factory Docks Rules and Factories Examinant of Plant Rules. The Factories and Other Places of Work Act also has provisions for safety. It's also various subsidiary legislation for safety, for example, factories and other places of citation of work. And we just want to have conversation about that, just to talk about what are the rights and responsibilities of workers and employees, and why is this day tomorrow important. And to have this discussion with me in studio, I'm joined by Andrew Muruka, who is the Deputy Director at the Directorate of Occupational Safety and Health Services, DOSHES, right? Yes. Many thanks for joining me this morning, Andrew.
Thank you.
And we also have Chris Waithaka, who is works with us here at the Standard Group, part of the legal team. Many thanks for joining us this morning. So let's just start by talking about the importance of this day and what exactly is occupational health and safety, because some people might think that this is a concern for workers who work with machineries and stuff like that, would pose then very apparent danger to them. So just talk to us about this in general. What are the considerations about occupational health and safety?
Thank you very much, Sharon. Occupational safety and health is defined by 4 P's. The first P is promotion and maintenance to the highest standards available of health. The second P is preventing workers from risks at the workplace. The third P is protecting workers at the workplace, for example, by providing personal protective clothing and equipment. And the last P is concerned with placing people in jobs for which they are physiologically and psychologically prepared for. And always under the Occupational Safety and Health Act, there is a fifth P, and that's the prevention of damage to property at the workplace. So these are the property and equipment that you need to perform the actual work.
Right.
So if they are not in functional capacity, then there will be a problem with the worker and the work organization and the way the work will be delivered.
All right. And just to talk from the legal perspective, as an employee, what should I know regarding occupational safety and health, and what my rights are?
It's stipulated under the Occupational Safety and Health Act under Section 6 that puts out the duties that the employer or the occupier is supposed to comply with. And basically is providing the tools that you need for you to do your job. You actually need also to be told how to operate, and various security measures or preventative measures are put in place for you. It further goes, the Occupational Safety and Health Act under Section 13 has provision for the duties of now the employee. So basically, from the wording of the Act, it points to having the employee knowing that the safety begins with the employee themselves, because the very first subsection of that Act, of that Section 13, states that the employer, the employee, as he does his job or her job, has to make sure that it is safe, not only for himself, but for other persons around him at the place of work. Further, the certain protective equipment that is provided by the employer, you have a duty to ensure that you use it in the right manner that you have been told to use by the employer.
Right.
Yes.
And this year, the World Day for Safety and Health at Work has been merged together with the World Day Against Child Labor to talk about the vulnerability of young people. Why is this important, especially in the Kenyan context? Are we seeing young workers being more exposed to dangers at the workplace?
That's right, Sharon. Young workers are at a lower bargaining power and capacity. So they are not able to bargain for a safety work environment. And the fact that we're having increasing unemployment, it makes them very poor in bargaining for their safety. Having said that, there is also the issue of the young workers are inexperienced with the hazards at the workplace. You are just coming from school and you're finding that you have to work with certain machines that you never saw in school. So you are actually not aware of the actual hazards that you face while dealing with that particular machine. Thirdly, young workers are still developing physically. They are still developing. They are developing psychologically. And therefore, when they arrive at a workplace, they are not able to, behave and work like experienced older workers. And of course, there is also the issue of young workers being prone to bullying at the workplace. So this might affect their health, and they will not be able to do anything about it. Yeah.
Right. And Chris, just a quick follow-up on that, as on young workers. I don't know to what extent this kind of training is offered in tertiary institutions just before the young workers are released into the marketplace. And then what then is the place of employers to offer this kind of training so that the young workers even understand the safety considerations and their rights as well?
I'll then go back to the Act, where the employer is required to offer trainings and make sure that every employee, and now in that particular situation, a child, has the knowledge to do his work and is protected. You know, the law always looks at a child. The best interest of the child are always put first before anything else, before you then consider anybody else in the society. And now when you come to an environment where you're dealing with certain exposures, maybe machines, the child will require better protection, or you must ensure that this child can do the job in an environment that is protected. Yes.
All right. So right now we want